You guys are right. It was not working. Hold on. Let me know. Let me know if you guys can hear me now. Wow. I just did 2 minutes of this shit. And you guys didn't hear me. Maybe I said something that would get me canceled. So maybe it's a blessing that I can start again here. Okay. Once again, Mets have acquired Adrian Houser, right-handed pitcher, and Tyrone Taylor from the Brewers, outfielder, in exchange for Coleman Crow, Mets prospect, who they acquired from the Eduardo Escobar trade last year. So we're basically turning Eduardo Escobar into a depth starter and a fourth outfielder. So as for Adrian Houser, this is obviously the main move, mainly because the Mets had a huge need for pitching. They still do. They will continue to have a huge need for pitching throughout this entire offseason. 4.12 earned run average last year over 111 innings. Fielding independent pitching at 3.99. Near 2-win season as a depth starter in a somewhat six-man rotation. He made 23 starts as well. Came out of the bullpen for 2 appearances, doesn't walk many, strikeouts aren't as high, decent contact manager. This is basically just a solid depth arm that the Mets have acquired from the Brewers. The Brewers obviously being the old organization that had David Stearns. So you definitely expected maybe 1 or 2 trades or a few guys from Milwaukee to come over to the Mets with David Stearns at the helm here for the first year as the president of baseball operations. Now, I know everybody was expecting Craig Counsell, but Craig Counsell is not going to pitch. He's not going to hit. So let's not worry about the manager for right now. What we're looking at right now is a quality back-end starter, and we're looking at a possible fourth outfielder. Now, Tyrone Taylor, which is actually very interesting, he does project fairly well. If you're looking at Steamer, they're looking at him for 18 home runs, which I'm kind of confused because it looks like he most likely will be coming off the bench for the Mets, but this is before he was even traded to the Mets. He seems to have a good power tool, and overall, he's a solid defender. It looks like in all 3 outfield positions. Or so I'm told. Yes, correct. Okay, so OAA is 5. Last time a decent sample in center field. It seems like he's more of a corner guy, but he can play center field. That's something that we have definitely lacked in a fourth outfielder. Someone who can provide you some hitting tools and also give you solid defense and center field. So obviously, Brandon Nimmo will always have that concern of injury. He has been relatively healthy recently, but he's going into his 30s. He does have health issues. Overall, we all know he has the heart problem and the neck problem. So it's good to have some guys who can back him up in center field. Even though I loved Nimmo in center field, I think he's been a fantastic center fielder in the last few years. They obviously need to have some insurance with, whatever injury concerns that you have with Nimmo. And also Starling Marte as well, who also has the injury concerns, who we also saw today. It looks like he was hitting in batting practice in the Dominican Winter League. And it looks like he was playing catch as well. And they're still waiting on clearance for permission to activate him. Listen, I'm okay with doing that. Like if the Mets want to activate him and have him play in the Dominican Winter League to try and get healthy, I'm fine with it. Like I'd love to see what we got from him because again, I think that it's just a question mark in Starling Marte. They needed to go into this offseason thinking that Starling Marte isn't an option. For those of you in here, you have not already, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't. We're going live for all Mets news throughout the offseason. We also have the podcast that goes out throughout the week. We have other clips and stuff like that. I'm going to start trying to do some shorts again as well. So those little ones that pop up on your timeline a little bit, I might do a little bit of those because some of the minor league signings and stuff like that, I did a lot of those last year. So maybe I'll do that again. But this is a solid move for the Mets. I'm not completely jumping out of my seat for this one, but I think the Mets definitely addressed a need here. We know that there was some connections to another Taylor and Michael A. Taylor on the free agent market, and we end up with Tyrone Taylor as a possible fourth outfielder. Marte was dancing and getting down with his new wife on X. Yeah, I saw that. Looks like he has decent speed too. Yeah, it looks like he does. I think that both are quality moves. They don't both make the roster better than it was before the trade was made. And that's basically what we're looking at right now. And that's what we can only hope for. Now, Coleman Crow is a promising young arm. I'm not going to say that giving him up was, an easy thing, but he also underwent Tommy John surgery this year. He's probably not going to be pitching for a while. He's not amazing. So emptying someone in the minor leagues to address the major league roster is definitely needed here. There's most likely the Mets were looking at the free agent market and they decided to kill two birds with one stone here and add some depth, make the rotation a little bit deeper, and also get a fourth outfielder, which we know that they were looking at. I'm hoping that this is the only outfielder that they get, but only time will tell. Obviously, we're still waiting on Yamamoto. Yuki Matsui, what's going on, by the way? I saw you, what's it called? I saw you signed with the Padres. Congratulations to you. What the hell is this? Official. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So the trade is now official, guys, by the way. The Mets just posted it on their Twitter. Adrian Houser and Tyrone Taylor. Okay. For those of you in here, make sure to hit the like button if you have not already. Subscribe if you haven't. Looks like a lot of you like this trade. Looks like in the poll so far, it doesn't look like anybody dislikes it. Some are 50-50. I'm okay with it. But we definitely expected Stearns to be going after a few Milwaukee guys, obviously, because every GM likes to go after their guys sometimes and bring them over to other organizations because it's more fitting their mold. Looks like Tyrone Taylor also has a very strong arm. So he definitely has a good amount of tools. So it's a toolsy fourth outfielder type of player. Not bad. Okay. All right, let me just address any other news. I obviously have to do a little bit more housekeeping here. It's the captain's birthday. Happy birthday to David Wright, 41 years old. If he finished his career, maybe last year was his last year. I don't know, but yeah, that it's not it. Hopefully, Taylor takes a glove first outfielder. So yeah, I'm not sure where the Mets pivot to after this one because obviously Tyrone Taylor cannot be the only outfielder that you bring in here, but we'll see what the deal is with Teoscar Hernandez. We'll see what the deal is if they go after somebody like Jorge Soler, if they go after, Jock Peterson, who I kind of doubt like the most out of all the outfielders. I forget who else is also available. I don't think that they go get Cody Bellinger, of course. But I think that, the Mets are going to address this outfield, as they said, with run prevention. They're going to try and, address it with a lot of guys who could play multiple positions, have multiple tools that can help you win. And I'm okay with that, of course. But, we all know that they need to add a little bit of power to this lineup. Tyrone Taylor has power. He has a power tool. It's not amazing, but, it could be solid off the bench. Definitely. So it looks like the Mets might be out of the Michael A. Taylor market. Different Taylor, of course. Like the stream if you guys have not already. Hit the subscribe button. I'm only going to be on here for about a half hour. 45 minutes. Nothing too crazy. Again, this is not really that major of a trade. How do you feel about taking on Yelich to get Peralta? I wouldn't be opposed to it, to be honest. I think Peralta is a really solid pitcher. I think he could be a really good 3 in a playoff rotation. Yelich, it's kind of a shitty contract. But the Mets do have a hole in the outfield. Yelich is still a good player. He's just not the player he was. And he's not going to age well. I think that, there's a lot of different contracts in the outfield that I think that there's been a possibility of the Mets possibly taking on, but I think that they're a little bit more hesitant with the Marte money here. I think Marte has kind of been like a stopper from getting anybody else's like long-term contract or bringing in anybody else. I mean, Yelich, how long is he getting paid through? I mean, what is it, 2028? It's a long time. It's definitely a lot of term. I mean, I would do it if Marte wasn't such a question mark, because he's stinking up, a lot. It's more the term. Like the AAV is not awful. Yeah, so 2028 is what he's playing through. And then there's a mutual option for 2029. Yeah. I mean, I would consider it, but it's not the first direction that I would go with. I mean, he's already 32 years old. He's not young anymore. And he's gotten hurt recently, and we all know that he's declined a lot since that MVP year. So we'll see. But it's definitely not the outfield direction that I would go in. I don't think that it helps the lineup as much as somebody else on the free agent market, like Teoscar Hernandez or someone like Jock Peterson, or someone like even like Jorge Soler, or who else is out there on the corner outfield. There's so many power options out there that I think the Mets really need to address and go after. But I don't think Yelich would be the main focus. Trying to see if any of my co-hosts are available, if they want to come in and give their 2 cents, but haven't gotten a response yet, guys. So stay tuned to see if that is a possibility. I don't know. Let's see. See if there's anything that I'm missing about this Tyrone Taylor, because to be honest, I like the Tyrone Taylor. I'm a little bit more happy about that one than the Adrian Houser, even though the Mets obviously need pitching. But Hauser's not like this very flashy, this very flashy addition, of course. Tyrone Taylor, career OPS 745. That's not bad for a 4th outfielder. He is 29 years old. Last year, 713 OPS. It's basically tools, I'm guessing, is what is attracting Stearns to him. And that's, the fact that also he's in Milwaukee. I mean, there's definitely an attachment there. Let's see. Anything else? I don't know. Decent contact rates. Nothing too crazy. Let's see. Lots of zone contact. Lots of pitches in the zone. Let's see. Anything else? Trying to see if there's anything that I missed on this guy that's been crazy. What is our bullpen looking like with Houser? I'm assuming a 6th man. Yeah, it could be the Trevor Williams role. Like that might be the best way to predict it right now. I think that they're going to probably give Severino the more of the keys to start in the 5 spot. Houser probably could come out of the bullpen. He may or may not. I don't know what it looks like right now. I mean, obviously you have Diaz and Raley. Austin Adams obviously has a spot there because I'm pretty sure they signed him to a major league contract. I'm assuming he's a 6-man relief. Do we think, high profile names? It's hard because I don't think the Mets want to commit long-term money at all to any relievers or anybody as of right now. They kind of want to keep those books open until they're ready to compete. But high profile names, if I were to attach them to anyone, for the bullpen, just in general, I'd say Robert Stevenson is a possibility. Jake Diekman, maybe. Some of the other guys in Milwaukee that are available, Eric Lauer, he's available. Obviously having a connection with Stearns. I don't think that they're going to be interested in Hader, even though he was with Milwaukee and whatever, but I don't think that they're going to go after him. Ryan Stanek is another one that I would go after. Jordan Hicks, another one. Lots of upside there. So, I mean, we'll see what they do. Because, I mean, we're starting to see somewhat of the shape of the pitching staff right now, but we'll see what happens. Still a ton of offseason to go. Still tons of names available. I think the Mets will probably make a few more trades, too. I'm expecting that to happen. Obviously, we're just waiting on what's going on with Yoshinobu Yamamoto, who the Mets are looking to... It looks like they have given him a decent offer. I saw some rumors about it, but nothing completely official and set in stone. But the Mets probably have the highest offers on the table, is what I'm expecting. But it all depends if Yamamoto wants to be a Met. Does anyone have a concern that Diaz won't come back the same after the injury? Should the Mets hedge at a closer? Listen, I'm not going to go down that route of Diaz coming back and like not being the same. The thing is that, yeah, okay, Diaz is going to be 30 years old. He comes back. If he's not the same, then he's not the same. That's kind of just like the whole situation with relievers. I mean, they just go back and forth, but obviously with them paying as much money as they did to Edwin Diaz, it would be a concern if he comes back and, you know, maybe he's not the same. But obviously, if you're being in like a practical state right now, I don't have any concern right now. Mainly because it wasn't his arm that got injured. It was his knee. Obviously, he needs his lower body to push off of, you know, to get that high profile velocity, of course, but I'm not as concerned. If he was like 35 or 36, I probably would be a little bit more concerned, but you know, this is a younger part of his career right now. But you know, there is a possibility he comes back and he's not the same. You know, it could happen, but I'm not worried about it right now. I still think that he has the ability to be his normal self. You know, maybe it'll take a little bit, you know, maybe it'll take a few spring trainings, but I'm not worried about Edwin Diaz. He's definitely the last guy in that bullpen that I'm worried about. Hoping for Stanek at this point. Would like to do Monty and Shota as a fallback for Yamamoto. I wouldn't go after Monty because I think that he's going to get a long-term deal, which I would not be willing to do. Shota Imanaga, I mean, I would like to go after him after if they were to get Yamamoto, I'd go after Imanaga as well. But we'll see what happens with Yamamoto because we still have yet to see it. And it looks like in the next few days, we're going to get an answer of where he's going to go. So it's very, very, very exciting. We'll see if the Mets did all they can to get the young Japanese star. Again, guys, I'll be on for like another 15 minutes. I'm not going to be on here that long for this one because, it's just Adrian Houser and Tyrone Taylor. So I don't think it's that big of a deal. They might stick him in a 6-man rotation again. Yeah, there's a possibility. This is also the same guy, Adrian Houser, as well. If you guys did not know, he vomited on the field a few years ago. He vomited twice, and then he went on to finish the inning. So this guy's got the New York dog in him. So if you didn't know that information, there you go. So yeah, looks like we're looking for tools and we're looking for depth here with this trade, and it looks like they did a decent job with it. So not bad by the Mets right here. Decent job. All right. Adrian Houser. Okay. Okay with Hauser being the back end. Scratching my head over this Taylor guy. I think it's a fourth outfielder. That's what they're going with. It seems like he was the fourth outfielder with Milwaukee. So I think that that's what they're going with. But I don't know. I think it's a solid pickup. Speed, defense, and then some power off the bench. Like I think that's what they're going for. Not a high on base guy, which I do love because I think we have a little too much of that. And not as high in the strikeouts, of course. It's just it's a solid role player, I'd say. Nothing crazy. You don't have to be happy about it. I don't think it's it is what it is. But yeah, Houser, solid depth for the rotation. Maybe they go with a six-man rotation. Maybe they don't. I think that they're going with a six-man rotation. That's just kind of been my thought of it, with them going after Yamamoto, with them in pitchers in Japan pitching once every week, and then also going after and signing Severino, who has had a lot of injuries recently. So maybe giving him an extra day of rest. Maybe he'll be able to produce a little bit. So there you go. But we'll see. We still got tons of offseason to go. Weak bat? I don't think he's a weak bat. I think he's got some solid power. I mean, to be honest, I think that some Mets fans and then me, like, we have different like definitions of what a weak bat is, obviously. But, I'd say, if you're looking at batting average, sure. But if you're looking at like actual power that can produce a little bit more in today's game, that's what I look at more. And I think that he's got a decent power tool. It's good off the bench, and it looks like he projects pretty well power-wise, and that's all I can really ask for from a fourth outfielder. And also somebody who can play center field as well, that is not Brandon Nimmo killing himself out there. For those of you in here who have not already, like the stream if you have not already. Steven, what's going on? What's going on, man? Make sure to hit the subscribe button if you have not already. Yuki Matsui, left-handed pitcher from Japan, another free agent on the market. His contract was just announced, 4 years, $21 million with the Padres. So that's decent AAV for a reliever, not bad. Yeah, so what is that? That's like $5 million a year, $6 million a year. You see us getting Justin Turner. I think Justin Turner is a possibility. I think they're also interested in Gio Urshela. I saw that. Excuse me. But there is an attachment between Justin Turner and David Stearns. Obviously, Stearns has really liked Justin Turner for the last few years. So I think that they do bring him in, Turner, but it's 1 year deal for it to be satisfying, or 2 year deal with second year it's a player option or something like that. I think the everyday thought of bringing in somebody like Turner has definitely escalated recently for a lot of Mets fans, mainly because of Ronnie Mauricio going down. So I think that the Mets do address third base, but obviously not in like the starters way of like just throwing money at Matt Chapman or anything. I think that they go after somebody like Justin Turner, Gio Urshela, Gene Segura is on the market. I wouldn't really go after that, but he's available. Candelario already signed. Excuse me. Yeah. All right. We're going to be on here, guys, for another 10 minutes. Make sure to get in your last comments, your last questions, your last concerns, anything that you want to know, anything that you would like to say. Make sure to vote on the poll. It looks like 67% of you like this trade, and 33% of you are 50-50. 0% of you don't like it. So that's decent. That's as positive as I think it can get for the Mets fan base. So not bad. Not bad of a trade, I wouldn't say. trade for Bergman. I think you mean Bregman. If he's available, I mean, I'd definitely make a call. But I think they're going to ask for a little bit more than the Mets want to give up. So we'll see. They could trade for Bregman. It wouldn't be my first choice, but definitely an option. The only part of the deal I like sort of is much higher upside for Crow than two guys combined. I listen. I wouldn't lose sleep over Coleman Crow. I wouldn't lose sleep over it. Coming off of Tommy John, he has not pitched in a long time, and still recovering from that injury. He's nothing special. Again, like I don't think there's anything like amazing with him. He's a depth starter at best at the major league level. It loses a little bit of youth. Obviously, you're bringing in Adrian Houser, who's a little bit older, of course. But I think that the upside is there just because he's younger. I don't think the upside is there because of like the strict talent. I don't think he's amazing arm. Again, remember we got this from the Angels from the Angels organization, and they were both like outside of the top 20 with the Angels. So it's not like Lennon Marchessault and Coleman Crow. I don't think there's anything special there. But giving up a young arm kind of sucks. But they did address two areas that have definitely a need on the major league roster with this trade, and that's what you like so far. Carson, Yankees and Dodgers got huge contracts on the books. My sales pitch to Yamamoto: sign with the Mets, and we will get all future Japanese players and change our name to the name. Listen, if that works, if that's what works for the pitch, then go ahead and do it. I'm all in for it. Okay. Wish there was a way to do this. Steve Cohen said we were going to be the East Coast Dodgers. I think he said that he likes what the Dodgers are doing. It's going to be a while if they want to be the Dodgers. It's going to take a while. I don't think he promised any East Coast Dodgers. I think he said that he likes it. I think the articles said it. Could Steve change his name to Steve Steinbrenner? I don't know if that'll work. Will that work? I don't know if Steinbrenner... Does Steinbrenner still have does that name still have a lot of flex on it? I don't know. But, it's a legacy. Listen, the Mets are going to have to build their own legacy. It's just going to have, that's just how it is. So, yeah, turning Eduardo Escobar into two solid depth pieces, not bad. Whew. Boy. Okay. All right, I'll be on here for about 5 more minutes, guys. Last comments, last concerns, last thoughts on this trade. The Mets have acquired Adrian Houser, right-handed pitcher, and outfielder Tyrone Taylor from the Brewers in exchange for Coleman Crow, Mets prospect that was acquired from the Angels before the deadline for Eduardo Escobar. Decent asset management, I'd say. And David Stearns, we trust. Well, there you go for you. There it is for you. I mean, listen, if we'll see what happens. All right. I think that David Stearns is a good baseball mind. I'm going to trust what he's doing. I'm going to give him the opportunity to do his job before we start calling him Dumpster Dave. And yeah, all here is depth. What about the starting lineup? Well, we gotta wait for our big fish to go down before we address that. Again, I think what Mets fans, you're probably getting a little impatient right now, but I'm just telling you, just be patient right now. Just let Yamamoto sign first, and then we'll see the direction that the Mets go in. Hopefully, he signs with the Mets, and we can advance from that. I mean, nothing is moving. It's not like the Mets are the only team not making moves. It's been slow all around, mainly because it's just an infield. What does this mean for the outfield? I don't think it means really much. I think this is your fourth outfielder. This is a bench piece. Nimmo is your guy in center field. Marte's a question mark. I still think that they get another left fielder. Hopefully, preferably Teoscar Hernandez. I hope it's Jorge Soler. I would take Jorge Soler in a heartbeat right now. Guys, I am tired. Jeez Christ. Mets are always doing these moves at weird times. Screwing up my schedule. I wasn't sleeping or anything, but not the time I was expecting go live. That was... All right. I wish there was a way that you can on YouTube, because I know you can do this on Twitch, but like host another channel, because I was gonna link something else to you guys at the end of the stream, so you guys can go watch that. If you don't know these guys or not, but they have their own Mets show and they're about to go live. So left field platoons, Stewart and Taylor. We'll see what happens, man. I don't know. We'll see how that shapes up. For those of you in here, make sure to hit the like button if you have not already. Subscribe if you are new. Put on post notifications for content throughout the week. Everybody, what? Yep, that's what I was gonna. That's what I was gonna plug here. I was gonna put it in the chat for you guys, and you can tell them that I sent you. Because Mets Entertainment, you'd love a big string of it. We get a higher grade LaCastro. I guess that's the best way to look at it. But this guy's probably has a better hit tool than him. LaCastro is just fast. Like that's about it. Yeah, nothing crazy, but it's a solid trade. Can't go wrong with it. How do I put up with Andrew's trolling? Sometimes I put up with it. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just ignore it. Sometimes I just, tune it out. Matt should have gone for Matsui. Are you saying that because he's in the chat right now? Yeah, we gave up Crow. Yeah, listen, Crow ain't that big of a... Crow's not that big of a loss, in my opinion. I don't see it, man. I'll tell you right now. Crow's a solid arm, I guess, but nothing too crazy. Not a big loss for me. Not going to stay up at night about losing Coleman Crow. I'll tell you right now. All right, so for those of you in here, make sure to hit the like button for one more time. I'm going to say that. Subscribe. We have a new podcast coming out most likely Monday. We will go live for any news such as this one. But today, one more time, the Mets have acquired Adrian Houser, right-handed pitcher, and outfielder Tyrone Taylor from the Brewers in exchange for right-handed pitcher Coleman Crow, Mets prospect who was acquired from the Angels last year. So Now I'm going to do I don't know if it's just like a redirect thing. I don't know how to, like, is there a way to do this? Hold on, guys. Is there a way I can like redirect you guys to like a different stream or something? I don't know, because I'd love to give these guys their I don't know. I don't think there's a way to do. Yeah, there isn't a way to do it on YouTube. That's got to be a feature or something. You should be able to host somebody. But other than that, guys, make sure to go check out my guys Mets Duelist Part. They're gonna go live in about a minute or so for their episode. You can only do that on Twitch, yeah. But all right, so I'm just gonna paste it in the chat a little bit, guys. Make sure to go check out their show. Go show them some love. Good friends of the channel. And I'm going to hop off here. One more time, Mets have acquired right-handed pitcher Adrian Houser and outfielder Tyrone Taylor from the Brewers in exchange for Coleman Crow, Mets prospect. Okay, we'll see you guys next time. Let's go, Mets. Peace out.